This will be a bit of a short one today. I think I've done a couple of big ones recently, so maybe I've earned a bit of a pass here. But I've been very, very busy in the business lately, and in full transparency, things haven't been the best in my business, Enhanced Cleaning. It's been quite bad. We lost 7 staff in the last 3 weeks. So, yeah, not great. And I'm a big numbers guy. I have a bunch of dashboards that I look at regularly to get a grasp on what my numbers are and how things are tracking. And one of our dashboards is our recurring revenue level. So we track our recurring revenue every month. We track the customers that are gained and lost every month. And typically we increase our monthly recurring revenue by about $5,000 a month every month, or $60,000 a year. So take, for example, if we're at $100,000 monthly recurring revenue, which is not an actual number for us, but it's just an example. If we're at 100,000 a month, next month we'll be at 105,000, and then the next month we'll be at 110,000 a month. That's kind of how our average numbers track. It's between like 5 to 10,000 a month we'll add. Anyway, it's always been like that. We've always been in the green. There's maybe one month ever where we went slightly negative, and we were negative $1,000 in net monthly recurring revenue. So if we were 90,000 that month, the next month we went in with a revenue level of 89,000 a month. So we've only ever had one month out of how many months have I been in business now? 50 something. And it's been very consistent growth. But lately we had our first big dip. So we went from, $5,000 to $10,000 in net added MRR every month to having a month where we went negative 5,000, our biggest dip ever. And to be completely honest with you, I did not feel it at all. We have gotten so big to the point where a shift like that in our revenue level, a shift that, a year or 2 years ago would have been massive and it really would have shaken the boat. Now we don't even feel it. And I think that is the goal. You need to get to a point where these sort of setbacks aren't even really setbacks anymore. You want to outgrow your problems. And things haven't been great recently. Our manager and our assistant manager have been working a lot more than usual. And that's just kind of what happens in business. You get the ebbs and flows. Some weeks you'll have a really quiet week and it'll be really laid back and you get a lot of free time. And then another week you might have a bit of a disaster show and you have to work a lot more than usual. And so, we lost 7 staff in the span of a couple of weeks. Just hit a run of bad luck. It wasn't really anything to do with the team or the work. It's just people going into different fields, family stuff, all kinds of things. And just a combination of really bad timing, bad circumstances, and also us being kind of in autopilot for a little bit. The management was in cruise control for a while because things were just going so great and we had such a good system going. And we just kind of found ourselves a bit too overextended, a bit too over leveraged. And now we're in a position where we need to go on a bit of a recruitment drive. So we have the assistant manager, VA, and even myself now doing interviews pretty much every day just to fill the people that we lost and also add some new people on because we are obviously preparing for more growth as we grow every month, except for, one of the recent months. It's been quite hectic. And as for what our plan is, our course of action for dealing with that, we have our fail-safe system. So I run my business like a plane. When you're 30,000 feet in the air, if something goes wrong, that is very bad. You will plummet out of the sky and hit the deck and explode. Now, planes aren't like that. Planes have a ton of fail-safes. So, if something goes wrong on a plane, say with the hydraulic system, there's usually a fail-safe that'll kick in and stop the plane from plummeting to the earth. There'll be some sort of fail-safe system that allows it to keep flying. Like if one of the engines fail, it has a fail-safe system that kicks in to try and restart the engine. And if that fails, then they've got another engine or sometimes more than one engine. And when there's a stall and the engines can't produce enough thrust, there's this thing, I can't remember what it's called, that drops out from below the plane, and it's like a propeller that's powered by the wind, essentially, to give it some more thrust, to give it some more momentum. So lots of fail safes in a plane, whereas in the case of an emergency or a catastrophic failure, it can continue gliding. And so we have a lot of fail safes in the business. We are prepared for the worst case scenario. So even though we've lost 7 staff in a couple of weeks, which sounds really, really bad, and look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's not great, but it's not going to ruin us. It's not going to set us back massively. It'll be like a 1, maybe 2 month setback, and we'll be back to square one and we can continue building. But it was just a combination of bad timing, bad circumstances, and also the team kind of being in autopilot because we were just chilling. And so like usually we have floaters, people that are in training that we don't really need, but they're there in case people do leave or in case we land a big contract, and we kind of throw them in. So, we're just utilizing some other stuff now. We're putting contractors in to cover some of our evening shifts and our commercial cleans, things like that. And so you always want to be prepared for worst case scenario. I like to plan for the worst case scenario and hope for, mediocrity at the very least, or the best case scenario. That's ideal, isn't it? But always planning for the worst case scenario so that when something like this happens, we're not caught off guard, we're not surprised, and we're not neck deep in that particular creek that we don't want to be up. So yeah, that's what's happened recently. It has been a bit of a tough time just to navigate, but we know what we're doing. We have the systems in place, we have the infrastructure, and so it's really only going to be a slight setback, and we'll just continue growing. But yeah, it's just to put that into perspective. Going negative $5,000 a month, so negative $60,000 a year in the span of a couple of weeks, and losing 7 employees. For most people don't even have that many employees. So losing that many employees and losing that much revenue in a few weeks, for a lot of people, could really rattle their business. And you can even send people into like this vicious cycle or this downward spiral that they can't really recover from. But fortunately, we do have the systems and we have the right people at the helm. So we will navigate this, but it just goes to show business isn't always perfect. It has not been a perfect couple of weeks or even couple of months for us, even though we've had a lot of great things happening, like me going on the morning show. We got a ton of leads from that, and that actually presented another problem. We hit a big bottleneck there. We simply could not keep up with the leads. We had about 300 leads come in the span of like 2 weeks, like just an unprecedented amount of leads. It was absolutely unreal, and we could not keep up with it. People were getting unhappy, and we lost a lot of leads. We left a lot of money on the table because we just simply did not know how to handle it. And that is the honest truth. There's so many things that will happen even today, and it's going to happen tomorrow and next week and next month and next year. It's going to be something that I haven't been faced with before, and maybe I haven't prepared for it. Maybe I haven't prepared for the worst case scenario, but I've always got things in the back of my mind where I'm like, what if? What if this happens? What if this were to happen? What if this person leaves? What if this person does this? What if this person complains? What if this person isn't happy? What if whatever it may be? My goal now, my mission, and the one thing that I'm always trying to do relentlessly is just thinking about different scenarios and circumstances that could hit the business, that could hinder our growth and our current operations. And I would highly recommend people to adopt this mindset, not to think negatively, but to just prepare yourself and posture your mindset and your mentality towards that what if? What if something bad were to happen? Okay, things might be going good now. They might be going great, but what if I lost 25% of my business tomorrow? What if my highest profit customers and highest revenue customers just left tomorrow? What if my best employee left tomorrow? What would I do? What if my booking system failed tomorrow? What would I do? What if my car broke down tomorrow? How would I service my cleans? Do I have a backup? Do I have a plan B? And so, yeah, at the moment, all I'm really doing is giving my team the motivation and the reassurance that we will get through this little rough patch. Obviously, it's not something we haven't really been through before. We've gone through this on a smaller scale. It's just as we get bigger, so do the problems. The problems will get bigger with scale. And so I've made the right decision. I've got a great manager in place that has the right mindset and the right mentality and is not going to shy away from a challenge and a problem. So we have a solution-oriented mindset across the team, and we are going to navigate this, and we're going to come out bigger, better, and stronger. And yeah, we'll hopefully bounce back, tenfold from this, because it's interesting too how so many great things happened recently that would really bolster growth, but then we've also done at the same time a complete 180. And so, yeah, I wanted to get that out there and give you that transparency, because I feel like I really value that from other people. And if I was a listener of this podcast, I would appreciate also hearing about the bad side of the business. And, not everything is going to be perfect. We're not always going to have big wins, and we're not going to always be making more and more money. This is business. This is the burden we take on as a business owner or as an investor. We have to understand that things are going to go wrong. We're not just an employee that gets to clock in and clock out and not worry about any of the back end stuff or any of the other stuff that isn't just intrinsic to the day-to-day of the business. Like we have to take that on. And I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people, especially the people that are doing well, it's pretty easy to do that in a cleaning business where you just kind of have this very steady growth where you get customers, you get staff, like one by one, you slowly start to grow, slowly but surely, and then something rattles you and you just like a deer in the headlights and you don't know what to do. I certainly had days like that early on when I was in the growth stages of my business. But we need to remember that we are business owners. It's not always going to be perfect. And if you can really adopt that mindset and live by that, then you will do well, not only operationally, just as a business owner doing the thing that you do, but also in your personal life. You'll be able to sleep better at night. You'll have a lot less stress on your shoulders, and there'll be a lot less on your plate, figuratively speaking. So yeah, business has not been amazing the last couple of weeks, but it is not something that's going to really derail us. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and learn from this and see what really, what we could have done better or what things went wrong to lead us here. And yeah, that is all I really wanted to leave you with today. It's not always perfect. That is the message for today's episode. It's not always going to be great. It's not always going to be win after win after win. You are going to have to deal with these sort of things. It's inevitable. Like failure is inevitable, and failure is a prerequisite for success. So I always say the quicker you can fail, the quicker you'll be able to get to where you want to be. So welcome failure with open arms and welcome mistakes and welcome setbacks, because every failure, every little hurdle, every little setback, every little pitfall is just an opportunity to learn and grow. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day and hopefully a greater day and a greater week than what we're currently having right now. But if you are in some sort of a rut at the moment, just remember that you're not alone in this. We all face problems. A lot of people maybe just don't really talk about them, but I will try to be a lot more transparent with that. There's been a lot of times where I have faced some sort of setback or something, and maybe I just get too caught up in the hustle and bustle of it all, and my life just gets a bit crazy around these times, and I don't really voice it. I don't really talk about it, but I will try to be more transparent in that regard. And yeah, my week will be quite busy, especially for the next few weeks actually, because I am helping out a bit more than I usually do, which is another one of our plan Bs or fail safes, if you will, is that I am kind of able to jump in and help with the management whenever needed and the operations. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of interviewing. I'm just helping out with the scheduling and just being there in case I'm needed for anything. So yeah, I hope you navigate these winter months well. A lot of people are getting sick. A lot of customers are canceling. A lot of our staff have called in sick, the ones that we still have. So yeah, our team as well, we're at about 40 team members now. We were approaching 50, but we'll have to pump the brakes on that a little bit. We'll get there eventually. And yeah, that is the state of the union for today. So I'll be back in the next episode with hopefully something that we can unpack and dive deep into, because I do love doing those episodes where I dive deep into a topic or a question or a problem or a strategy or framework. I have a lot of fun making those episodes, and I'll definitely be back with that next time. And if you have any suggestions about what kind of things you'd like to see me tackle on here, or what ideas and questions you may have, I'm more than happy to take a look and explore those and answer them here. My inbox is open. If you send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, I'm almost guaranteed to see it, and I will take that into account and maybe make it into an episode. So yeah, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for listening to another episode of Self Made. See you next time.